Have you ever gotten a quote for carpet cleaning and just stared at it, wondering where on earth they came up with that number? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out what's really going on behind that price tag.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You get a few estimates, and one is suspiciously cheap, another seems astronomical, and the rest are just somewhere in the middle. It feels completely random, and honestly, it can be super frustrating when you're just trying to figure out what's fair.
But here's the thing, it's not random at all. The truth is that final price is a careful calculation. It's the sum of a bunch of really specific factors that the pros are looking at long before they even plug in a single piece of equipment.
And to help us get to the bottom of it all, we're going to use a breakdown from the pros over at JK Carpet Cleaning. They've basically laid out all the puzzle pieces for us, so by the end of this, you'll be able to look at any quote and see the whole picture clear as day.
Okay, first things first, let's solve this mystery bill.
The biggest things that impact the price right from the get-go actually have everything to do with the specifics of your own home.
So the most obvious one is just the size of the job, right? More square footage simply means more time, more product, more work. But here's something you might not think about. The layout actually matters a lot too. A big, wide-open living room can sometimes be cleaned way more efficiently than, say, 3 small bedrooms with lots of tight corners and furniture to navigate.
All right, next up, how dirty is the carpet really? I mean, think about it. The carpet in a guest room that's used twice a year is one thing, but the main hallway, the family room where the kids and the dog hang out, that's a totally different ballgame. Heavily soiled carpets need extra work, like pre-treatments for tough spots and stains, which, you guessed it, adds to the cost. Now, here's something most of us probably never even consider. What your carpet is actually made of. There's a huge difference. Synthetic fibers like nylon or polyester, they're kind of the workhorses of the carpet world, pretty durable and easier to clean. But natural fibers like wool, well, they're much more delicate. They need special care, gentler products, and specific techniques to avoid damage. That makes it a more specialized and, yep, more expensive job.
Okay, so we've talked about your space and your carpet's condition, but let's get into our second big category. It's not just about what's being cleaned, it's about how it's being cleaned. The method itself is a huge piece of the pricing puzzle.
See, the pros have a whole toolkit of different methods they can use. You'll hear phrases like hot water extraction, which is what most of us just call steam cleaning. But there are also other approaches, like low moisture or dry cleaning. Different companies often specialize in one or two of these, and the equipment and training for each comes with a very different price tag.
Let's break down the most common one, hot water extraction, because it's way more than just spraying some soapy water around. First, they apply a pre-treatment solution to start breaking down all that dirt and grime. Then comes the hot water rinse. It's high pressure, getting deep in there to knock the dirt loose. And finally, step 3 is this incredibly powerful vacuum that sucks up everything, the water, the dirt, all the allergens. It is a seriously deep clean.
All right, we've covered the space, the dirt, and the cleaning method, but the price can still change depending on any little extras you might want or need. So let's talk about the add-ons. Okay, here's one that catches a lot of people off guard: moving the furniture. You know, some cleaners might slide a coffee table or a chair out of the way, no problem. But what about that giant sectional sofa or the heavy bedroom dressers? That takes serious time and labor. A lot of companies will list this as a separate charge, so it's always a really smart question to ask them about up front.
This chart gives you a really great visual of how a final bill comes together. You've got your standard cleaning, which is the base. Let's say it's about 70% of the cost here. But then you have those optional services, like adding stain protection, a deodorizer, or a special pet treatment. Each of those can add another chunk to the total. They're all useful for sure, but they do add up.
And that brings us to a really key point about these add-ons. It really helps to think of them less as extra costs and more as, well, investments. Applying a stain protectant now could save you from a complete disaster when someone spills red wine later. It's all about making that clean last longer and keeping your home fresh.
And finally, let's talk about the last factor. This one has nothing to do with your carpet, your stains, or your furniture. It has everything to do with the company you decide to hire. Let's call it the price of quality. So, you ever wonder why one company charges more than another for what seems like the same service? This is why. You're not just paying for someone to clean your floor. You're paying for their experience, their training, their reputation. You're paying for the peace of mind knowing they're licensed and insured in case anything goes wrong. And you're paying for their investment in top-of-the-line equipment and safe, quality products, stuff that just does a better job and is healthier for your home.
This quote from our source material just puts it perfectly. It's not about a temporary fix. It's about investing in long-lasting results, improved air quality, and a cleaner, more inviting home. You're paying for a result that actually sticks around.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that now you're equipped. You have the tools to look at any quote, and instead of just seeing a number, you can see the why behind it. You can ask the right questions and really understand what you're paying for and what you're not.
So the next time you go to get a quote, what are you going to be looking for? Will you ask about their cleaning method or about what kind of products they use? Maybe what's actually included in that base price. Now you know exactly what to look for.